I've been separated from my group. It's been a couple of hours now, I think.
Legends about a massive cave in the Andes containing items that may rewrite human history have enticed explorers and enthralled occult seekers for almost half a century. The Taos Cave is home of the Taos birds, and rumour has it a treasure trove of riches, treasures and spirits. The one guarded by the Shuar, and through which Neil Armstrong, the first man to set foot on the moon, stepped on the entrance to the underworld. This is the cave that contains the secret metal library, which records the history of both humankind and extraterrestrial civilization. Now, the daughter of a legendary explorer and scientists have discovered something new in these caverns. What exactly is the mystery underneath these caves? Did they finally discover alien bodies? Join us today as we investigate this mystery cave and all of the secrets it has been hiding up until now. To reach the Taos Cave, you have to travel for 8 hours east from Ecuador's capital city of Quito on tortuous potholed roads that zigzag through the cloud forest over the Amazon basin. Then you pull over just outside the little village of Mendez and follow a road to the muddy Santiago River's bank, where you'll witness residents carrying 150-pound bushels of bananas on their shoulders. From here, you get into a long wooden boat and cruise by cascading waterfalls to the beginning of a dirt trail. Hike about 5 hours in the humidity over Puntilla de Coangas mountain, then up to Bacana de Coangas top. The trek comes to an end in a meadow with 3 thatch houses, which house a dozen Shuar, the ancient tribe that protects the cave. The Shuar are the region's indigenous inhabitants, famous warriors famed for shamanism and shrinking their enemies' skulls. Taos calls from deep within territory governed and maintained by the tribe, and visitors must exercise extreme caution when negotiating local politics and traditions. Theo Tulcaridis, a geology professor and researcher at Ecuador's University of the Armed Forces and a renowned authority on Taos, discovered this the hard way in 2014. He climbed out of the cave after a few days of exploring to find 20 furious Shuar waiting for him. Tulcaridis had recruited local guides, but some other Shuar were disappointed that they had not been hired as well. "My guide hugged me tight and whispered, 'Don't resist,'" recounts Tulcaridis. A Shuar woman then lashed him with a belt. Everything we know about Taos starts with Janos Juan Moriz, an Argentine-Hungarian who, after looking and exploring in Peru, Bolivia and Argentina, discovered a source in Ecuador, which he kept anonymous until his death, who had shown him the location of the cave and disclosed the entrance to the underground world that he had been searching for so long. On July 21, 1969, he made his findings public in a thorough summary of the expedition that he provided to the Ecuadorian government as a notarial deed. Moriz claims that in Morana Santiago's underworld, "I have discovered valuable objects of great cultural and historical value to humanity. The objects consist especially of metal sheets that probably contain the summary of the history of an extraterrestrial civilization, of which we don't have the least indication to date." The geographic description includes pathways and man-made structures, as well as archaeological remnants from another civilization's life in the caverns. According to his claims and study, the entry into Ecuador is one of many to this world and intraterrestrial civilization, and it provides solid evidence that aliens previously came and lived on Earth. But it was the tablets with illustrations and ancient writing that drew the greatest worldwide interest. It is said that the history contained in these metals dates back 250,000 years in human history. This piqued the interest of Erich von Daniken, a Swiss writer whose fascination with the enigmatic Taos tunnels led him to write The Gold of the Gods, a book based on Moriz's findings in which the author claims to have been a participant in an expedition, entered the library and seen golden statues. He described the caverns as though he had been there using archive images of the Argentine and his anecdotes. The bestseller sold over 5 million copies until von Daniken admitted that he made up most of what was said, that he had not descended to the caverns, and that he had never known the enormous library existed. However, his narrative had already piqued the interest of Stanley Hall, a Scottish engineer whose life purpose had been to locate the library. To do this, he suggested Moriz in 1976 that they collaborate on an international expedition, which the Argentine agreed to on the condition that he head the mission and that they would not retrieve anything from the cave. Moriz was left out of a project that was eventually carried out in collaboration with the governments of Ecuador, England, and US astronaut Neil Armstrong. After 35 days of exploration, official results showed that the tunnel system was a natural phenomenon with no human influence in its formation. They claimed this after purportedly removing 4 large crates, the contents of which were maintained by the Shuar community, who had openly cooperated in entering the cave. The community was stated to be saddened after this extraction because they felt exploited and deceived, and they also felt that the team removed something from there. Many people found the expedition reports confusing. According to Ecuadorian researcher Manuel Palacios, producer of America Prohibida, the concealment of reports, photographic and filmic evidence, and above all, the denial of the real magnitude of this underground system, which was limited to only 5 kilometers in length, casts doubt on official accounts because it contradicts even Neil Armstrong's press statement that his experience in the Taos eclipsed his experience on the moon. When the draft of the cave expedition was finished, Hall forwarded it to Moriz to review. He discovered facts that he did not want published and opted not to return the manuscript, forcing Hall to redo his work. Stanley Hall remained involved with the investigation following the 1976 expedition. This time he'd concentrate on identifying the individual who had taken Juan Moriz to the caverns. In 1991, after an intense investigation, he found Petronio Jaramillo, who was the source of the secret information. Petronius gave his word that he would reveal to Hall the location of the entrance to the library, which was not even located in the Cave of the Taos, nevertheless, on the condition that he would do it when the time is right. Hall was able to learn about the alleged account of how they discovered the library. Jaramillo's uncle was led to the entrance by Shuar village residents as a thank you and because of their faith in him. He then took Petronio when he was 17, and he returned one more time after that. He informed Hall that he had seen a room with metal books and a smaller one with glass-like volumes.